Over a year ago, I made a video on how to buy a car with no credit, and that ended up being one of my most popular videos that I've made on this channel. So in that video, someone left a comment pretty much asking me to go over the specifics of my loan and what I went through to get it. So in this video, that's exactly what we're gonna do. Alright, so welcome back to my channel. If you're new, this is Chance's Garage. I post all kinds of car content, informational content, all of that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell to know when I post. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about the specifics of my car loan. And the loan that I'm talking about was for my 2013 Camaro SS 1LE, which I bought back in February of last year, which was about a month before COVID really started shutting things down. And I had that car for 6 months and I wrecked it. If you want to see all of that, just go back through my channel. I have plenty of videos on it. So let's talk about the loan specifically. So when I was trying to buy that car, I knew that I was going to have to save up some money for a larger down payment. I knew that was going to probably be one of the things I needed to do. Another thing I had to take into consideration was the income I was making. So at that time, I wasn't making crazy money. I was making average, income. I knew that my budget was going to be $20,000. So with all of that being said, I didn't want to pay any more than $20,000 for a car because I knew I was going to be paying a high interest rate, and going higher than that would probably not be smart financially. Those two things kind of planned for ended up being exactly correct. So when I finally got to a dealership that would work with me on, trying to get me approved, because I went to 3 dealerships prior and went through the buying process on 3 different cars, and they all said no, or they all just went cold on me completely, didn't let me know anything. So 3 dealerships did that. Then I finally went to Sewell Lexus, they had their own in-house bank, which was Toyota Financial. So I went to them. I found this Camaro, and after I drove it, I knew I wanted it, knew I liked it. And now we got to the specifics of the loan. And when we got to the specifics of that loan, I kind of just let them know, kind of expressed my interest in the car, to see what they can do, and they did all the legwork for me. They talked to their bank and they did the best that they could to get approved. Now, before I jump into that, I want to say, I know some of you are going to be like, well, why didn't you go to other banks to try to get approved? And I did. I went to 2 or 3 banks. I went to 2 or 3 banks to try to get a loan, but they didn't want to give me a loan because I didn't have any credit. So there probably are banks out there that will do that, that will give you, a pre-approval or give you a loan if you have no credit. But you probably have to do your research, and I probably should have done my own research more beforehand. So that's one thing you can do, is do your research on banks that take on people with no credit. So with that being said, after all of that, they did all the legwork. They came back to me and offered. So the car was $19,500 or $400. It was one of the two. But I tried to haggle the price of the car, and they didn't want to move. So the offer that they came back with was, I believe, 4 years, a 4-year loan paying 19% interest. And I did not like that 19% interest rate. So I tried to haggle with it, but having no credit and not really having any other options with the bank, I couldn't get them to come down. And I tried for a full day to negotiate with them, and they were just like, hey, this is it. We're not gonna budge. I had to make a decision. And so my first loan was 19% interest, and my payments were $395 a month for that car. So the plan was, I know you're like, okay, that's crazy, but here's my thought process behind accepting a high interest rate, a high interest loan. So my normal bank, which is a credit union that I normally go to, they couldn't approve me, but the loan officer went ahead and told me, hey, here's what you can do. You can pay on your loan for 6 months, and then after those 6 months, come back to us and we will refinance you and you will get a much better rate. And I thought about it and I said, okay, so I only have to pay this outrageous payment for 6 months, and I can come back and probably cut my payments down 50 to 100 bucks and be paying a decent loan after that. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll go ahead and do this. And that's what I did. So my loan was 19% interest over 4 years. I believe my payments were $395 a month. It was either 4 or 5 years. I can't remember exactly. And the down payment was 15 to 20%. It was one of them. So that ended up being $4,500 for the down payment, which again, I was like, wow, you know, I was ready to put $4,000 down, but $4,500 was pretty good amount. But I was prepared nevertheless. I've been saving for a year to do this, and I was financially prepared to take on the payment. So that's one thing you want to make sure that you're prepared for, is you're going to be paying higher interest rate for those first 6 months until you can refinance. Then on top of that, you're going to be dealing with a higher down payment. Those are the two things you got to take into consideration. And right now, another thing I want you to consider is this was pre-COVID. This was a month before COVID, and this was also a down month for selling cars. So I got in at the right time, and not only that, it was tax season. So dealers before tax season, if you don't know, they're trying to get cars off their lot. They want to have as few cars on their lot as possible, because each car that's on their lot during tax season, they have to pay taxes on. So what they do is they sell everything, or if they buy a car, they're buying cheaper cars so they don't have to pay high taxes on them. So they're trying to move as many cars off their lot so they can keep their inventory as low as possible. Tax season starts in March. This was mid-February, so they wanted that car going, and they got that deal to go through. So my people with no credit, buy closer to the winter time, you know, end of the year or the beginning of the year. That's my advice. That's how I got approved. I'm not sure if it's, you know, I'm pretty sure banks are a lot more difficult in this time, and I want to kind of explain why I am saying it's probably harder to get a loan right now. Number one, COVID. COVID alone has changed everything. The main thing that COVID has caused is a computer chip shortage in the new car market. And if you're looking at new cars, then your income has to be there. You know, if you're looking at any car, the income has to be there. But new cars in particular, they're hard to come by right now because they're not making them at the rate that they normally do because of the computer chip shortage. How does that affect the used car market, which is how I bought my first car? Well, since people can't buy new cars because they're not making them at the rate that they once were, they're going to the used car market. And the used car market is selling cars at all-time high prices. Cars are astronomically overpriced right now in the used car market, and they're selling. So banks and dealers are not going to go to the lengths that they normally would to sell a car because they don't have to. There's so much competition in the market. There's so many people that are approved and so many people that already have credit looking for cars that they don't have to go to those lengths. So the best thing that you can do is be patient and wait until the best season to buy a car, which is December through February. That's like prime time to get a car because dealers just want to get them off their lot. So they'll be a lot more willing to work with you. If you're buying a new car at the end of the year, they will get rid of these cars because they have to. Number one, though, make sure your income is there. Make sure it is there. Make sure your income is there. If that's there, then this process will be a lot easier. So if you're making $30,000, $40,000 a year, don't try to go buy a Hellcat brand new. It's not gonna go well. So stick to your budget. You know, if you're making $30,000, $40,000 a year, try to go get a $15,000 car or a $20,000 car max, because that's around what I was making. It will help you a lot. So I hope this video was helpful. Just wanted to share my experience with y'all. I know it's kind of a longer video of me only talking, but I feel that the information in this video is very necessary, which is why I've made this is my third video on this topic. I just wanted to go through my experience of buying that car. So again, I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, drop them down below. I'll answer what I can, but again, I'm not a loan officer. So if you have any questions on what exactly you need to do to get approved, then find a good loan officer. Find a loan officer at any bank, and they can tell you what you need to do to get approved, and also do your research on YouTube. So that's gonna do it for this video. Again, I hope y'all enjoyed it. If this was helpful, leave a like. Go ahead and subscribe for more content, and if you want to see any more kinds of videos like this, let me know in the comments below. I like making these kind of videos to help people, and I want to help everyone that I can. So I hope this was helpful, and I will see y'all on the next video. So y'all take it easy, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.